Hello, I'm Andy Graves. In this video, I'll be showing you how to work the first 12 rounds of my Whirlwind Afghan square. We're ready to begin round 10, and you've noticed I've removed all the orange and yellow stitch markers because the only stitch markers we need now are our 4 corners, because from round 10 forward, we're going to be creating the square shape. We begin this round by attaching a new color of yarn along any side in the same stitch as this last slip stitch. So this stitch here. And we're going to use a standing single crochet to create that first stitch. So to do a standing single crochet, I've made a slip knot and I've tightened it up around the shaft of my hook. I'm going to insert my hook into this stitch, and I'm going to yarn over, pull up a loop. I've now got 2 loops on my hook, come through, make a single crochet. I'm going to continue, and I'm going to make a single crochet in the next stitch. Then, and this is the part that we're going to be repeating, I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. Then I'm going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And I'm going to do 2 double crochets in this stitch right before my stitch marker. Now, when I get to my mark stitch, I'm going to do a treble crochet, chain 1, and another treble crochet. I finished that. I'm going to move my stitch marker up to this chain 1 space just made. I'm going to do 2 double crochets in the next stitch, and I'm going to do a double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Then I'm going to do a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches, and then I'm going to single crochet in the next 4 stitches. 1 here, and this is our first slip stitch from row 9, or round 9 I mean. I'm going to slip under those 2 bars, pull up make a single crochet. Now I'm going to single crochet, and I single crochet over this tail to kind of help secure it. I'm going to do that with the next 2 single crochets. So this is a repetitive part of this round, and you see how we're beginning to square our corner here. We started out with 2 single crochets. We're going to kind of discount them for the moment, and we're going to say 3 half doubles, 2 doubles, 2 doubles in 1 stitch, our treble, chain 1 treble, 2 doubles in the next stitch, a double in each of the next 2 stitches, a half double in the next 3 stitches, and a single in the next 4. And we're going to continue that way here and here. When we get to this side, we're going to do all of those things except those last 4 single crochets. We're only going to work 2 of them because we have the first 2 of that group of 4 already made at the beginning of our round. We're now at the end of round 10, or nearly at the end. We've got 2 more stitches to go. I have worked my last 3 half double crochets, and now I'm going to work my last 2 single crochets. The very last one goes into that slip stitch from round 10, and then I'm going to slip stitch to the first single crochet of the round. We're ready to begin round 11. You're going to begin this round by attaching the new color of yarn in the 11th stitch from a marked chain 1 space, and you're going to go with the direction of work. And direction of work in this case, you can look at the top of your stitches and you see how you have these little V's. The direction of work is this way. So now we're going to make our single crochet in the 11th stitch in the direction of work from our chain 1 space in the corner that's marked. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I'm going to slip my hook into here, pull up a loop, and make a single crochet stitch. Now I'm going to single crochet in the next 2 stitches, and I'm going to half double crochet in the next 3, and then I'm going to double crochet in the next 3. I'm going to do 2 double crochets in this stitch right before the marked stitch, and I'm going to do a treble, chain 2, and treble in the marked space. Move my stitch marker into that chain 2 space I just made, 2 double crochets in the next stitch, double crochet the next 3, and a half double crochet in the next 3, and single crochet in the next 6. Just like before in round 10, we're going to repeat from the half double crochets to the end of the 6 single crochets. I'm going to do that for all the corners until we get back here where we'll do only 3 single crochets at the end and join to our first single crochet of the round. Now we're at the end of round 11, or nearly again. We've done the repeat. We started out with these 3 single crochets, and then we repeated around and around and around and around, and now we're ready for our last 3 single crochets. I'm going to slip stitch to our first single crochet, now we're going to fasten off our yarn. And as you can see, we have gone from the circle of our spiral out to a square shape. Now all the remaining rounds are going to be working double crochets around the edges with a corner increase to keep it squared. And I'll show you that in round 12. We're ready to begin round 12, and round 12 is going to start with a standing double crochet stitch. Now when I attach a new color of yarn, when I'm doing these rounds where I'm fastening off, I start on a different side than where I ended the previous round. This helps avoid from getting a strong seam in your block. So for standing double crochet, we're going to yarn over. We've started with a slip knot on our shaft of our hook, kind of pin that tail down, and we're going to pull up a loop. Got 3 loops on our hook, and that little tail wants to come around here. We're going to yarn over, go through 2 loops, yarn over, go through 2 loops like you always do with double crochet. Now we're going to do a double crochet in each stitch until we reach the marked corner. And quite honestly, I only put in this pattern that you should attach in the 11th stitch just because sometimes people want to know where to go. It really doesn't matter because what we're doing is we're working a double crochet, a single double crochet in each of these stitches until we get to the marked chain space, and that's where something different happens. I'm going to continue to double crochet until I get to my marked space. Alright, I've reached my marked chain 2 space. I'm going to put 2 double crochets, and then I'm going to chain 2 more double crochets, and that is my corner increase. It allows me to turn the corner to work along the straight side on the other side. I'm going to move my stitch marker into this chain 2 space. You see how I've turned the corner? It's going to be a double crochet in each space, in each stitch across this side. Until the end of round 12, and we've worked a double crochet in the last stitch before our first stitch, and we're now going to slip stitch to the first stitch in the round. I'm going to pull that tight, and I've cut my tail. I'm going to pull that on through. Now you can see round 12 gives us a nice square. Now you can stop at this point. If you're making all the squares yourself and you stay consistent with your gauge, you can make these any size you want, or you can continue working, repeating round 12 with different colors until you get to the size you want. Now in my original pattern, there's 16 rounds, so there's 4 more rounds similar to round 12, and you just change colors every round. You can adjust the size of the square, that way if it's coming out bigger or smaller than you want it to, you can add or subtract rounds at this point. Weave in your tails and block, and you've got a nice little Afghan square.